tuned into The Truth with G. Inspire, educate, and uplift. If you can't handle the truth, this ain't the show for you. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So sit back, relax, and buckle up and enjoy this ride.
The Truth with G. The Truth with G. The Truth with G. All right. Welcome back to the show. You are listening to The Truth with G on WPMM Internet Radio. It's your boy, Gerald Graham. You know me as D. Once again, we're back to talk about these issues that matter or should matter to you and your community. Hope all is well. It is Monday. It is the 19th day of February. We are halfway through the month of February, over halfway through the month of February, only 28 days. Only 28 days in this month. And it is Black History Month. It's almost over. It seemed like it just started, and we're close to the end now. So, but I hope all is doing well. I want to thank you once again for tuning in to the show. It's been a little minute. I actually took off last week, and I was not doing any shows on last week because of other obligations that I had, and I had to take care of those. Had some other things on my agenda that took my time away from the show, so I had to take a little short hiatus. Hope you guys didn't mind, but we are back. Tell you what I was doing last week, just in case you didn't know. And some of you may have seen the production on Saturday at Pensacola High School, what Picard Productions put on. The stage play Fentanyl Don't Have Anything on the Word of God. That's where I was last week. I was attending the rehearsals and getting prepared for that show. And for those who may have seen the show, if you're out there and you've seen the show, let me know what you thought about the show. I think it went out pretty good. But if you were there, the music that you heard during the show was myself and Brother Andre Morrell. He was on the keyboards, I was on drums, and we did the stage production for Picard. So that's where I was last week, and that, obviously it took up, quite a bit of my time. And, I'd be running ragged. I'd be all over the place, all the time, telling where you may see me at or what project I may be on. So, but if you saw the show, I think it went out pretty good. It had an excellent message. It was talking about the fentanyl epidemic that we have going on in regards to the fentanyl deaths and the addiction that a lot of people are addicted to fentanyl. It addressed a lot of those things. It gave a whole lot of facts about the drug fentanyl, the countermeasures to the drug, and unfortunately, it gave you the low part of the drug, and it gave you the success story at the end, where it could have turned out tragic, but it was a great production. I think the people that were there enjoyed it. And like I said, if you was at the show, let me know. Let me know what you think. If you don't want to say anything about it, at least let me know about the music part of it, because that's what I was doing. I was doing the music. So the actors, I want to give a shout out to all the participants, all the actors, actresses that participated in the show. They did a wonderful, wonderful job. And most of the crew, most of the cast were returners. I've been working with Picard for the last, I think this is my 16th production I've done with them. And out of the 16, probably half of them I've been doing backstage as far as music and playing a role on the stage. However, this year I was only backstage with the music and whatnot. And it was a long day. We had 2 shows on Saturday, one at 2:30, the other one at 6:30. So I was at the theater at the auditorium from about 10 o'clock that morning until a little after 11 o'clock that night. So it was a long day, but it was worth it. Again, it was a powerful message. I keep you guys informed, because I don't know yet if this player is going to come back again. to Pensacola, and at the same time, it may go to another city. Also, there may be, it should be a either digital or DVD recording of the production that'll be available as well, and I keep you posted on that. So I think everybody should check that out, especially the young people. It's very important for the young people to see it and see, be entertained at the same time, be educated about the fentanyl. But anyway, that's where I was last week. It's great to be back. Great to be back on the air. If you're out there, let me know you're out there. Give me a thumbs up, a heart, do something. Let me know you're out there. If you're listening, you are listening to WPMF Internet Radio, where we play more music. We play the best in R&B, jazz, neo soul, independent hip hop, old school music. You can go to the website WPMMradio.com, listen to the show. We're on TuneIn. We're on Facebook Live. We're on let's name that, YouTube as well. We're on Twitter. You can also download the app. You can listen from the app as well. Download the app. It's a free app. Go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Download the free WPMM Internet Radio app, and you can listen to the show there. For someone who may not be computer savvy, just text them WPMMradio.com. Just put that in the message field. All I have to do is click on it, hit play, and they can enjoy the show as well. So the views and opinions expressed by individual radio hosts and guests are of their own and does not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WPMM Radio. WPMM does not intend to malign with any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. All right, now that we have that out the way, to the show tonight. Where is Monday Madness? We're going to talk about a few things here tonight. And also, if you have some topics that you want me to cover as well, drop them in the comment section, and we will definitely tackle those comments as well. And but what we're going to do, looks like we have Miss Saber that's joining us tonight. Good evening, Miss Saber. How you doing? Miss Saber, I actually and I couldn't catch you. I saw you guys walking out the front of the auditorium, and I was on the stage, and my knees ain't as good as they used to be, so I tried to run down the stage and run up the ramp to catch you guys before you disappear, but you got away from me. Once I got up in the lobby, I couldn't find you. You had already left. So, yeah, I saw you from a distance. I was going to come speak to you, but my knees wouldn't let me run fast enough to catch you. But I'm glad you was there. Glad you enjoyed the show. So, Miss Avery, you can tell them that if they wasn't at the show, they missed a good one. But like I said, we may bring it back. It may be coming back. Mr. Walter Davis is on. Good to see you, Mr. Davis. Good to see you, sir. Glad you're on. Miss Saber and Mr. Davis, they my ride or dies. They with me just about every single night. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all my listeners. I really do. Got a lot of closet listeners as well as people that listen behind the scenes, but they don't want to show their face. And I understand, but don't be scared. Please don't be scared. But anyway, again, it's the month of February. It is Black History Month. Mr. Arthur said, she said that Saturday show was right on point. She said, yes, they did. Everyone said they enjoyed it. Glad to hear that, Miss Savory. Glad to hear that. It is still Black History Month. 28 days of February is dedicated to Black history. It should be 365 days. We should be educating ourselves each and every day in regards to our history. So, we need to know where we come from so we can understand better where we are today, so we can have better insight on where we need to go for tomorrow. So, our history is very, very important. And on Saturday as well, I had two places to be at the same time, and I couldn't be in two places at the same time. I was supposed to accompany a group of kids to Montgomery to view the Black History Museums up there, the Lynching Museum, the Legacy Museum up there, and these Rose Park Museum. But obviously I couldn't be in two places at one time. So, kudos to my wife. She stepped in and stepped up, and she went to Montgomery with her. Shout out to my mind just went blank. Somebody tell me, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. But shout out to the organizers of that trip, where they took a group of young men to Montgomery to view the museum. And from what I'm told, the report I got when they got back, Denny, if you're listening, was posting in the chat. I know Denny was part of it. Denny, if you're listening, Denny, post in the chat as far as who and what put this trip on for the youth. But anyway, if your child has not had an opportunity to go to a Black History Museum, whether it be the one in Montgomery, whether it be the one in Washington, D.C., there are several particularly across the South. They really need to go. I know my wife, she went for the first time on Saturday, and now she wants to go back, and she wants to spend more time there because, with going with a group, you're on a time schedule, and she didn't, she's seen a lot, but she wanted to see more. And the only reason she couldn't see more because, they were responsible for these kids. They was on a timetable, and they had to, stay on schedule so they can get these kids back home at the time that they said they would. So she wants to go back because there's a lot of things that she's seen that she wasn't aware of, that she wasn't educated on, a lot of things that happened to us in our history that she knew kind of happened, but she didn't understand the validity of it. She didn't understand the severity of the things that we went through, our people went through, particularly in the slave trade and the 400 years of oppression that we had while we were enslaved. And even thereafter, once we were emancipated and quote unquote set free, the trials and tribulations that we had to go through as well, because we went from being called slaves to sharecroppers, and it wasn't like a promotion or anything. They just had to find a new way to get us to work, so they call it sharecroppers. And then once we started gaining our independence or what have you, they had to come up with another way to keep us oppressed. So that's how our prison system came along, because the Constitution still has in the Constitution, and I forget the amendment, and please forgive me for not knowing the amendment, but slavery is still legal if you have committed a crime. It says that in the Constitution. So they came up with mass incarceration of particularly most of Black people in order to keep them enslaved, to keep them out in the fields, to keep them working on the chain gang, if you will. Everybody know that song, That's the Sound of the Men Working on the Chain Gang. And that was just another way of oppression, because we know that our people go to prisons and get locked up for longer stints than our counterparts, and our justice system is not equal. Based on the way things are going right now, there's nothing that's equal right now, and that should not be in the year 2024. And it's sad that we are in the position that we are today, but it's even worse that people don't understand that we're going backwards because they don't know the history. If you know the history, you wouldn't see and you would feel that we're going backwards. So I encourage, every parent, if you have a young particular teenage child, adolescent child, to, plan a trip. If you're in the Pensacola area, Montgomery is about 2.5 hours away. You can do a day trip to Montgomery, and nothing you have to stay overnight for. You get up in the morning, drive to Montgomery, and you view the sites, for the daytime until the museum's closed, and then you come on back home. It's a good thing to do. It's very educational, and I think every child needs to go through that, just to see how far we have come and how far we still need to go. So, but in Black History Month, make sure that you're educating yourself, educating your children, your grandchildren, and I don't know everything about Black history. I promise you, I don't. I can give you dates of things that happened, but I know the gist of it. I got a good foundation in what happened in our history. I have a good foundation in the slave trade and where it originated from and where we landed. You know, I have a good foundation, and anything that I don't know, I do have the ability to research it and look it up. And, you know, that Google machine is a perfect resource. You don't have to go find encyclopedias like we had to do in our day. That Google machine works very, very well. So just Google, and it'll take you there. But it's different when you go into these museums and you see the artifacts. You see the apparatuses that they used on us. You see the jingle bells, and you have a whole different outlook on the song Jingle Bells, because Jingle Bells was nothing that was happy when it comes to Black people. Those jingle bells used to be chained on the necks of slaves, locked in metal, with metal locked around your neck, and there was bells that hung from that metal that would ring to where if you ran away, the dogs and the slave catchers would hear you. So it kept you from running away. And those were called Jingle Bell. But we sang that song every Christmas, not knowing that song or the word Jingle Bells is not a thing that Black people want to hear, if you will, because of the history of it. So, you know, just little things like that. Even the 4th of July. The 4th of July was not a picnic for us. The 4th of July was a day that they met in town square. When I say they, the slave owners and the white people who had their freedoms, and where they met in town square, and there were times where Black people were burned. They were hung and burned on the 4th of July. So that, you know, if you read the words of Frederick Douglass and what he said about the 4th of July, you will see that even back then, the 4th of July wasn't for us. It wasn't about us. 4th of July Independence Day came for them. We were still enslaved in 1776 when we so-called independence, when we gained our independence from British rule, if you will, the first 13 colonies. We were enslaved. And when they celebrated it on 4th of July, a lot of times we were, you know, burned and hung in the middle of town square as part of the celebration. So that's why, you know, thank you for the day off. I take the day off. You give me a day off, I take a day off for anything. But that's why I don't celebrate the 4th of July, because we were not free. We were not independent of anything. We were slaves on that day. That holiday did not come about because of Black people. However, when it comes to celebrating holidays, my quote unquote 4th of July is Juneteenth. Juneteenth is the day that I celebrate, which is June 19th. That's the day that that the general rode down in Texas and finally told the slaves that they had been free almost 2.5 years prior to Juneteenth. So the slave owners got another 2.5 years of free labor, if you will, free slave labor. And we didn't even know that we were free for 2.5 years. Once Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, we didn't know. So Juneteenth was the day that the Southern slaves finally found out that they were no longer slaves. So that is our Independence Day in my view. I'm not knocking anybody who celebrate the 4th of July. If you choose to celebrate that day, that's on you. Again, thank you for the day off. I ain't mad. I take the day off. But I'm not going to do anything in honor of July 4th as far as a Independence Day. If I hang out with people, I'm hanging out because I'm off that day. I'm hanging out because they got some food. You know, but I'm not hanging out because I'm celebrating the independence of people that don't look like me. Again, 1776, July 4th, 1776, we were slaves. We were being burned in town square. We were being hung in town square as part of the 4th of July celebration. So, you know, you do you, But just know that I don't do 4th of July celebrations because we had nothing to celebrate on that day. But anyway, just know your Black history. Know your Black history. Again, if you have any topics that you want to talk about, throw them in there. Thumbs up, hit a heart, hit something. Let me know you're out there. Drop your comments in the comment section if you want to talk about something. But I'm going to continue on down the line with my topics. Monday Madness. Monday Madness is what we're calling it today. It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on out there. We have our national security is at risk, people. Our national security is at risk. And let me tell you why our national security is at risk, because we have idiots that are running the government right now. We have a House of Representatives that is run by a bunch of idiots, led by Mike Johnson, who is the current speaker of the House. He's a diehard Trump ass kisser, and he's leading us into wars. We are literally at war now. We're dropping bombs on certain countries and whatnot. Russia's continuing their invasion of Ukraine. Our government, our Congress has went on a 2-week break, and they left without concluding any type of funding for Ukraine, which is an ally. Even though they're not a part of NATO, they're an ally of ours. And if Vladimir Putin and Russia takes over Ukraine, they're going to move into NATO allied countries such as Poland and those areas over in that region that border Ukraine. And I know y'all don't like me to bore y'all with politics, but you need to understand what's going on. You really do, because it is so very important, especially with the situation with the war in Ukraine, because Putin will invade other countries, which means that our military, our men and women in uniform, are going to be at risk. They're already at risk because we had the drone strike where Iran attacked the military base with 3 black soldiers, 2 male, 1 female soldiers were killed in that attack. My mind just went blank. I think it was in Yemen. It was Iran that attacked that base, and now we're retaliating, where we're hitting strategic targets where the Iranian leadership and military and weapons are held up. We're actually dropping bombs on them as we speak. So our military is already at a heightened level of security. But if Putin invade NATO allied countries, then that puts us in direct war with Russia. Because as it stands right now, with a NATO country, if anybody invades a country that is a part of NATO, then all the participants in NATO are basically at war with whatever country that is that invaded a NATO country. So when men and women in our military are going to be put at risk. At the same time, when we have situations like what our government is dragging their feet and the House of Representatives don't want to do right, our military is at risk even more because if we don't help Ukraine with aid, and they tried to pass a bill. First, they tried to pass a bill, the border bill that included funds for Ukraine, and also included funds for Israel. Again, the war in Israel, we have to deal with that as well. But that package had money for the southern border, it had money for Israel, it had money for Ukraine, but the Republicans knocked that down at the direction of the orange asshole. Even though he's not our president, he's been out of office for 3 years. The Republican dumbasses are still taking commands from this idiot. They had a chance to solve, to put billions of dollars down at the southern border. And they did not do it because Trump did not want the border crisis to be solved or even be addressed, because they want Biden to look bad. And what the stupidity of it is that it's not making Biden look bad, because Biden is pushing it for this bill to pass. It's making them look like dumbass cult members is what it's doing. And they're too stupid to realize that. But our national security is at risk. And if we don't get out and vote, and I know people are saying that Biden is too old, Biden is this, Biden is that, but shit, I don't care how old he is. He can be dead. He can be dead in his casket on election day. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to vote for Biden. I'd rather have a dead Biden than a live Trump. And for everybody out there, let me talk to my Trump people for a second, because I know we got some Trump people out there. I'm sure I work with some Trump folks, but they scared to show who they are, because I call them out to their face. Let me talk to the Trump people for just a second. I don't know how you was raised. I don't know who your people are. I don't know what your background is. But if you are supporting Donald J. Trump, something is wrong with you. Either something is mentally wrong with you, or you're stupid, or you're an asshole, or you're racist, or you're all the above. Period, point blank. You're either mentally handicapped, you're racist, you're stupid, or you're an asshole, all the above, or a combination of 3 or 4 of them. How in the world can you want somebody as foul and as corrupt as Donald Trump to be the leader of the free world? What is going through your mind to where you think that Donald Trump, a rapist, there's $84 million out there that he got to pay, that where he has been proven in a court of law to be a rapist. There's at least 25 women who has brought the allegations against him, saying he either sexually assaulted them or raped them. He's associated with a man who went to jail for child sex trafficking. You heard it out of his own mouth, to where he said that because he's a celebrity, he can do anything he can want. He can even grab him by the pussy. And that's what he did to E. Jean Carroll, but E. Jean Carroll got her revenge. She was able to sue him, and now he has to pay her $84 million for grabbing her by the pussy, just like he said he did. But for you dumbasses out there who think it's a smart idea to vote for a person as foul as this, he just lost a court case, by the way. He just lost a court case for fraud, where he has swindled money from banks and whatnot, using fraud to swindle money from banks. And it got to the point to where the U.S. banks wouldn't even give him any more money, so he started going overseas to these the European banks and things of that nature, because he couldn't get money out of the United States anymore, because he had fraudulently put paperwork in to get these loans or whatnot, inflated his assets, things of that nature, and he has gotten caught. So just last week, he was rendered to pay $544 million in damages for fraud. So $84 million for rape, $544 million for fraud. He is about to go on trial next month for getting peed on by a porn star and then paying her to be quiet about it. But you dumb fucks want to vote for this person as your president. What is going on in your brain? You are mentally disturbed. You need some counseling. You need to be Baker acted. You need to be locked up somewhere. Anybody who goes in a voting booth and vote for this man, something is mentally wrong with you. Something is morally wrong with you. You have no respect or no morals for yourself. You have no respect for yourself. And I'm still looking to talk to one of you guys. I am hoping and praying that one of you will come forward and say, gee, I'll come on your show and talk to you and explain why I support this rapist, this fraudster, this thief. I really want to know why. Mr. Pugh, what's going on, Mr. Pugh? Good to see you on here, buddy. Mr. Pugh said the vice president said don't let the couch win the election. That's the only way Trump will win if you stay on the couch. You're exactly right. You have to get out and vote. You have to get out and vote, people. We can't show up. You know, I know 40% is one of on the higher end as far as in our history of black people showing up at the polls. But we have to show up at 80%, people. 80% of registered voters, we have to show up and we have to vote. Miss Saber says he's selling sneakers for $399. Gold sneakers with a T on them. Yeah, that dumbass. He is oh my God. After he got that $544 million judgment against him in being found guilty of fraud, now he's selling shoes to dumb fucks who, and Miss Saber, excuse my language here, but it's only a certain way I can describe these people, and normal language don't describe them. I promise you. But there are idiots out there who are buying these gold shoes with a T on them. They are literally idiots out there buying them shoes. Let me see somebody with a pair of them shoes on. If you ever see me pop up live on Facebook, I randomly, that means I done found somebody with these shoes on, and I'm going live, and I'm going to go talk to them because I want to pick their brain. I need to find out why you stupid. Mr. Pugh says Trump is going to get sued for stealing the patent for red bottom sneakers. Yeah, I'm sure that I don't know what company. I hadn't looked to see what company is actually manufacturing these shoes, but knowing Trump is probably a sweatshop somewhere where he got 6-year-olds in there trying to make shoes, knowing Trump's history. But I don't care who you are. I don't care what party affiliation you are. If you have any morals, any values, any self-respect, you will go, one, you're going to go and vote. Two, you're going to vote against this foolishness. If you're a Republican and you have any human decency at all, you're going to vote against a Republican president. You're going to vote against a Republican House of Representatives. You're going to vote against a Republican Senate because none of them idiots have any common damn sense. They are all cult members. They are all, they done drunk the Kool-Aid, and they have no business in power of anything. They shouldn't even have a driver's license. They shouldn't even be allowed to drive on the streets because their judgment is just that poor. You can't trust them with a vehicle, let alone you can't trust them to run a country, because their ideals and their ideologies and their thought process and their platforms and their agendas is screwed up. So I want to talk to a Trump supporter. I promise you I do. So if anybody out there, if you know a Trump supporter that's willing to come on and spew their logic, I'll let them talk for a little bit and tell why they're stupid, because we need to know why they're stupid. Maybe if we know why, we can come up with a cure. But the problem with the journalists that we have, the news reporters, journalists, the on the major networks and whatnot, they bring these Republicans on and they let them run the conversation. They let them run the interview. They let them dictate how the interview is going to go. I seen over the weekend, I think it was Sunday morning, where CNN, Jake Tapper. You know, I do watch CNN. I watch MSNBC. Jake Tapper used to, up until Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it was, I used to hold a pretty high level of respect for Jake Tapper on CNN. But what Jake Tapper did on Sunday on Face the Nation, not Face the Nation, dang it, I forgot what he called his show. Whatever his show is that comes on Sunday, he had Tim Scott on there. He had Tim Scott on there, and he would ask a question, and he was allowing Tim Scott, one, not to answer the question, two, to go off on these ignorant rants about something that had nothing to do with the question. And I was watching it and I kept yelling at the TV, and I'm like, Jake, why are you letting this fool take over the interview and say anything he wants? And everything that even the stuff, even the questions he wouldn't answer, the answers that he was given to a question that wasn't even asked was bullshit. And Jake Tapper just sitting there looking dumbfounded and just sitting there letting them talk and letting them continue to just spew bullcrap without pushing back. At one point, he tried to push back at one point, but he let Tim Scott just keep talking. And if you don't know who Tim Scott is the only black senator in the Senate. He's from South Carolina. He's an idiot. And I hate to say that about a black man, but he's an idiot. He is worse than the Samuel L. Jackson character in Django. So if you wanted to compare him to anybody, you would compare him to the Samuel L. Jackson character in Django, because he's nothing more than a volunteer house nigga. And I don't even like using that word, but for him, he is a volunteer house nigga. Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina. He is endorsing Trump, and he got his dumb ass on the stage at one of the primaries, I think in New Hampshire, whatever, and he stood behind Trump and he smiled with all his gum showing, and then Trump dogged him, talked about him while he was on the podium. Then he gonna get up and say, I love you. Fuck wrong with you, Tim Scott? Really, dude? Is that how you gonna represent yourself and how you gonna represent black people, by being a house nigga? I've reached out to you, Tim Scott. I reached out to you via your social media. I'm going to email your office. Send you an email if I have to send a letter to your office because I want to talk to you. Because we shouldn't have black men that are volunteer house niggas. Now, we have a situation where we forced into a role to play house nigga. That's one thing. We're forced into it. And one way that we're forced into something is modern day slavery, which is the mass incarceration that we have in our prisons. That's how black people are forced to be slaves all over again. But you, Tim Scott, you are a volunteer house nigga. You volunteer to be stupid. It's not forced upon you. But I reached out to you several times. And you may not ever hear this broadcast, but if you ever do, I reached out to you several times because I want to talk to you. And I know I'm sure I won't get a response. But I want to talk to you. I want to find out why you're stupid. Why are you so smart until you freaking stupid? You should be an example of what other black, especially our young black men, you should be an example of what they should be. Even though you're a senator, we know that you done sold your soul to the devil to get where you are. One, you wasn't elected. For those people who don't know, you were not elected. You were appointed to that seat when it was vacated. And you were appointed by Nikki Haley. I'm not a Nikki Haley fan, but shit, if we had a choice out of Nikki Haley and Donald Trump, I'm gonna take Nikki Haley, even though she is dumbass as well. But she appointed you to senator. But you so much of a house nigga that you're kissing Trump's ass instead of supporting the person that put you in that position. It wasn't the people, South Carolina. They didn't vote for you. It wasn't the people. Nikki Haley appointed your dumb ass. And I'm not a Nikki Haley fan by far, because she's just as foul and corrupt as that's the rest of them. She still won't say nothing bad about Trump. The only thing she's talking about is his cognitive abilities, as far as his mental decline. That's the only thing she's talking about. She's not talking about that he's a rapist. She's not talking about that he's a racist. She's not talking about the fact that he don't like black people and he's trying to run all of the Mexicans and all the people coming across the southern border. He called them. She's not attacking none of that. All she's saying is he's too old and he's losing his mental capabilities. That's all that she is saying about him. Even after he said that if he's president again, that he's not going to support other NATO countries. He's going to let Putin come in and do whatever the hell they want to do to him. Donald Trump is the biggest threat to national security that we have faced in a long time. He's a bigger threat than China. He's a bigger threat than Russia. He's a bigger threat than Iran. But you dumbass people, yeah, I'm talking to you. If you voting for Trump, you the dumbass. You're the idiot. Y'all drinking the Kool-Aid, and common sense is not nowhere in your mindset at all. Let's go back and get these comments. Mr. Pugh said Jake was letting Scott make an ass out of him. He definitely right. And if you haven't seen that interview with Jake Tapper and Tim Scott on CNN, just Google it. Just Google it and watch how this idiot, watch how he tap dance and do blackface and sing Mammy like a good house nigga. And then he parade, right before he called it off for him running for president. He paraded his girlfriend in front of the camera, his white girlfriend, thinking that was going to make a difference. But we all know he's not. He don't like girls. He may like girly things, but he don't like girls. And that, you know, Tim Scott, if you gay, say you gay. Don't try to hide. Don't try to, you know, by mellow the bride and prop her up and make her look like she's your girlfriend. If you gay, be gay. I must call you there for it. But if you're gay, be gay. Stop trying to hide from it. We know you don't have a girlfriend. Let's see, Mr. Adams. What's going on, Mr. Adams? He said I have a book for you to read. The Grift, The Downward Spiral of Black Republicans from the Party of Lincoln to the Cult of Trump by Clay Cone. It addresses Tim Scott and others. That'll be interesting. I need the what they call it, the one that reads it to you. I need one of those. And I can't sit down long enough to read a whole book. What they call it, the you know, where you put it on and you play it and you listen to the book. That's what I need, because I need to be able to move around. So, but yeah, I'll check that out. Audio book. There we go. See, I'm an idiot. See, when it comes to books, I'm an article reader. I read articles all day long, but when it comes to books, it takes too long, and I don't have time to sit down and read a whole book. I read the articles. But Mr. Adams, if you give me that book, highlight the short parts of it. I read all the highlights, and then you can fill me in on the rest. Mr. Adams said he ran in 2020 and won that seat. Yeah, but he was originally appointed. We're still talking about Tim Scott, South Carolina, but he was originally appointed. Mr. Pugh says Scott wants the vice president. He definitely does. He's sucking the little wrinkled up appendage of Trump's to get it. Well, I almost said something, but anyway, but yeah, he is the I'm not sure what's going on with my connection on the app. It's tripping on me. Okay, if you're on the app, I apologize. It jumped off and then jumped back on. If you're listening on the app, I do apologize. See, Mr. Adams, I was going to give it back to you. He said, no, brother, you got to buy your own. I was going to give it back to you. I just need you to highlight the important parts. So I don't have to read the whole book. But I'm going to check it out. I'm going to get the audio book, and I'm going to check it out. So, but anyway, let's be smart, especially my black people. We have to be smart. We got to get up off our ass, and we got to go vote. We have to show up at the polls. We got to show up at 80% of 80+% of registered voters need to vote. I know I'm reaching for the stars. I would prefer 100% of black registered voters to get out and vote, but I know that's not realistic. But I think we can do 80. I think as a people, as a whole, if we just come to our senses, I think we can get 80%. That's my push. And if nothing, for you black people in Pensacola, for the black and brown community in Pensacola, be smart. Be smart, be helpful. We know Escambia County is Trump country. We know that the number we're basically outnumbered. But if every black person to get up off their ass and care about something for once, care about their community, care about their state, care about the city, care about the path of our national government, just for once, we can make a difference. I promise you we can. We need to get idiots like Matt Gaetz out of our, that's who represent us, Matt Gaetz, the child rapist, the one who's being investigated right now for sex trafficking. He is our representative for this district, people. This man taking children internationally to screw them. And now he's been investigated for it. This is what we have representing Northwest Florida. And half of you don't even know who Matt Gaetz are. Well, who he is, my bad. Mr. Pugh, that 90%, 90% of black people that voted for Obama. However, only 42% of the black population voted as a whole. So, but yeah, it was like 92% voted for Obama. 92% of the people that actually voted. We have to get the registered voters. We have to get 80+% of those registered voters out to actually vote. So we was in the 42, 43 range, somewhere in there. It was higher than normal. But yeah, it was only 42, 43% of the registered voters that actually voted. And 90% of them voted for Obama. So Mr. Adams says with the money that Trump owes, 554 million. He has a security risk. He owes a lot of people money. He has been a security risk all along. That's why he was using the office of the president to profit. That's why he was all these dignitaries that were coming to Washington D.C. were paying astronomical amount of money to the Trump organization to stay in these hotels or whatever. He was profiting from being in office when he wasn't even supposed to be running his organization, and he was just still attached to his organization. Jared Kushner and Ivanka were still attached to their organizations, and they were part of the administration, which is a law, and they got away with it to this point. So, my black people, I need y'all to be smart. I need y'all to be diligent. I need y'all to get up off your ass and let's make a change around here. I'm tired of hearing people complain about this, that, and the other. I'm tired of you complaining about inflation, even though our numbers, don't let these Republicans fool you. The numbers are looking great when it comes to the economy, when it comes to inflation. The interest rates have leveled out. They're not increasing the interest rates at this point in time. They're supposed to be coming down, but with the situation overseas, with the war, whatever, the market kind of stabilized and things kind of got put on hold because they were supposed to start cutting the interest rates in March, but it don't look like they're going to cut the interest rates because of the situation that's going on overseas. Because our Congress, the House of Representatives, they decided to take their ass home before they voted on any type of aid for Ukraine and any type of border deal or whatever. They took their ass home under the direction of Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House. And they knew that they was leaving the government in shambles when they broke for their 2-week vacation. But educate yourself, people. Educate yourself. It's Black History Month. Educate yourself on the history of our people. Educate yourself on what's going on now as we speak, because our future depends on it. If you want to be back in Jim Crow type of era, which we are headed there quick, fast, in a hurry, stay your ass at home and don't vote. And when somebody knock on your door and hit you with a whip and say, get your ass out there in the field, don't look crazy. I told you it was coming if you don't get out and do something about it. I'm not saying this just to have something to talk about. I'm saying this to try to give you guys the information that you need to know so that we can make better decisions on what's going on in our lives, in our communities, in our state, in our country. I don't know everything, don't claim to know everything, but I try to educate myself on something every single day. Try to gain a little bit more knowledge every single day, so that if I'm asked about something, or if I come on before you and on my platform, I can give you some useful information. And I never tell you a lie. If I tell you a lie, it's by accident. It's something that I may have misquoted or something, but I never tell you a lie. I'm going to tell you the real. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's why this show is called The Truth with G, because I'm not going to give you any false information. I need my people to be educated. I can't educate them by giving them information that is inaccurate and incorrect. So, but we have come to the top of the hour. It's been an hour well spent. It's time for me to get up off of here. I want to thank you guys once again for joining me today. I've been on a week vacation, not a vacation. I've been doing other projects, but I'm back. There's still Thursday shows. It's a toss up if I'm on Thursday or not. I'll let you know on Thursday morning if there will be a Thursday evening show. If not, Thursday night, you'll see me back on Monday. I want to thank you once again for joining me. As always, I have the best audience in the world. I truly and truly wholeheartedly believe that. And I thank you guys so very much for being a part of this show and for listening. It means the world to me. I promise you it do. But let's make a difference, people. Let's make a difference. Let's show that Black people can unify. Let's show that Black people can make a difference in this world and in the community and in this world. Black History Month, educate yourself. But until Thursday, y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. And I am out of here.